Hey there, YouTube. So, I'm one of those people who gave in and decided to pay, the extra 40 bucks so I can play Tom Clancy The Division 2 3 days before it actually gets released. Yeah, I know. Smart idea. I hope that doesn't become a thing where you get to, pre-order the game or pay an extra few bucks so you get early access to the game. Considering with games like this where you want to be ahead of the herd and get the best loot, so you can get ready for endgame quick as possible. But that's besides the point. I've been playing the game on and off for about 2 days, and as recording this video, the game doesn't come out worldwide for another day. And this is just my first impressions of the early game. I haven't actually gotten into the end game, and I'm not judging the game based on that. That would be actually just a completely different video. But so far, the early game been a little lackluster, if I do say so myself. I should note that I do play most of these games solo or with friends, and I try to avoid playing with other people until the end game where it's a lot more convenient. When it comes to the initial gameplay of the game, it feels dull and repetitive. The gunplay doesn't feel too exciting and doesn't do anything different from the first game, which entirely isn't a bad thing. I really did enjoy the first game. Well, after Ubisoft quote unquote fixed their game. But in this game, I feel like the skills are extremely weak. Yes, I know, I understand you can mod the skills and upgrade them to be more powerful. You can also increase your skill stats to boost their performance, but that's more for the end game, and we aren't talking about that. Part of the game is the journey to the end game, which in some sense should be just as enjoyable as the end game. Here, it feels a lot more like a chore than an actual game. When it came to Anthem, a game that did so many things wrong, at least the gameplay and the gunfights were enjoyable and the best part of the game. The Division 2 doesn't feel that way. There hasn't been one gunfight that has been extremely enjoyable. Most, if not all, boss fights have been just target practice and bullet sponges, and the AI is kind of dumb. They would just stand there and let you unload 5 mags into them, or they'll just walk right by you and not even acknowledge your existence. One of the new things that Division 2 brings to the table that the first game didn't have are these 3 classes that require you to be max level before you unlock them. This changes how you approach each battle with new skills and weapons to engage the fights with. The 3 classes are Sharpshooter, Survivalist, and Demolitionist. It would have been an extremely better pace if they allowed you to unlock the base forms of these classes in the early game and then let you fully mod them out or customize them in the end game. It will make the early game at least a little bit more enjoyable, at least in my opinion. The world, on the other hand, feels a little bit more alive than the first game did. You see more animals roaming the streets, and you see more friendly militia fighting off the bad guys in the game. The map seems about the same size as Manhattan did in the first game, but it's possible that it may be increased in the future. Now, let's talk about the Dark Zone, the PvP of the game. Well, at least the Dark Zone at low levels. I only tried the Dark Zone for maybe an hour or so because I want to experience it more in the end game than in the early game. But in my experience, the low levels for the Dark Zone are completely dead. There were no players. I've met no players actually playing. That can factor in for many reasons, because everybody else is a higher level than me, or because the game isn't fully released, so there aren't enough players to be paired up with. But before you actually get access to the Dark Zone, you have to do a quick side mission, which takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And then from there, you are able to enter or leave the Dark Zone as many times as you want. Once you unlock the Dark Zone, there's a new loot mechanic in the Dark Zone now. In the first game, anytime you would get an item, whether you find it or an enemy drops it, it would be contaminated, and you would have to go and extract it before you're able to use it or even know what it is entirely. In this game, they approach that a little differently. Some items Some items can be dropped from enemies and you'll be able to use them right away, while other items that you can find in loot boxes or like extremely rare items will be contaminated and you would have to extract them to have access to them. I think that's a little bit more fair, because in the first game you could have gotten 6 items and then have to go extract them because you can't pick any more up, and then just to find out that they kind of sucked. In this one, at least you get to know, at least you get some items and some better items if you're able to extract. I was actually able to find a purple item at level 9, which kind of honestly surprised me. But that's all I got for now, and I will be covering the game more in the future. Even though I find the initial grind to max level dull, I have high hopes for the end game and look forward to playing it with everyone. So I'm making these videos and I'm trying my best to not read off a script. Reading off a script is a lot easier, but makes it sound a lot, more scripted, obviously. So in the future, I'm gonna start doing videos with just little bullet points of stuff I want to talk about and start talking off of my head, so this video sound more fluid and more enjoyable to watch. But anyways, if you like the video, hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. I usually hate promoting myself like that, but why not? Also, make sure to catch my live streams at twitch.tv/ChuckNyx. See you guys later.